tulips come up and they're so beautiful. Like when you go to Niagara Falls in that one specific day, because if you're late, everything's going to die. If you go to Niagara Falls and you look at all those tulips, they're so beautiful. But they're so beautiful for such a short time. They're here today and they're gone tomorrow, and all of a sudden their glory is gone in a matter of days. And God says, this is exactly what your life is like. Besides from the fact that God loves us, besides from the fact that God saves us, besides from the fact that God partners with us, everything we have that's of any significance is connected to God. And aside from that, there's nothing of significance. Because without God, we are weak, we're small, we're insignificant. We don't really matter in a universe this big. But we matter because we matter to God. We're worthy because God has loved us. In closing, I want you guys to see something, please. Can somebody turn off the lights at the back, and hopefully this will work? I just want you guys to watch a little video, and then I'll explain this little video after the fact. But I wanted to bring back some good memories. And when I close, you'll see my point. For those of you who are around, what you're seeing is barrels of clothes that were sent to Guyana, donated to the Amerindians. You're seeing shirts and pants and shoes. You're seeing toothbrushes, soap, shampoo. You're seeing hundreds of running shoes. I remember when we packed that in the main sanctuary. You're seeing hundreds of jeans, jewelry for the women, earrings, lipstick, children's shoes. I want you to also remember that there were many, many mission trips, 5, 6, 7, where the barrels kept coming. I want you to see the people who are also believers in Jesus, and when Jesus says that when you do this to the least of me, you've done it to me. I didn't have a pair of shoes, and you gave me a pair of shoes. I didn't have a dress, and you gave me a dress. I was hungry, and you fed me. I didn't have no toys. You gave me some. My baby was sick, and you brought medicine. See, I don't want to be fraudulent, and I refuse to be emotional. But there's somebody you never saw in those pictures. I remember in the early days of Garden Church, we had a storeroom. You guys remember that? It was an office. That storeroom would be packed to the top, and the things would keep coming. I remember I told this gentleman that I didn't have space. If you remember some of the dynamic of what happened, people kept asking me, where are you getting the money? to buy all this stuff. I said, I'm not getting the money. Someone's giving it. They're like, no, this is like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff. Nobody gives you thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff, because the stuff just kept coming. We kept shipping it and it kept coming. People even assumed that I was buying the stuff, or I was getting the stuff and selling it because I was building a church for myself in Guyana. Because you see, normal people just don't operate like that. No one gives away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff. It doesn't happen in real life. Well, you see, behind this, what made it possible was a man. Not a prideful man, not even a very eloquent man, just a regular guy. His name was George Hinn. He's actually related to Benny Hinn. And to people in Christian circles, that makes you kind of famous. For people in the world, that makes you kind of suspicious. But even when you say, hey, are you related to Benny Hinn? He'd be like, yeah, he's my distant cousin, but he has nothing to do with me. He was very unassuming. You would go and he had a big warehouse, and he would just keep asking you the same questions. Would Amerindians like this? Would Amerindians like that? Do Amerindians use pens? Will they wear lipstick? Do they like jewelry? Do they want shoes? And you would go there to get a few boxes, and by the time you leave, you would have vans filled with stuff. That was just his nature. He was a businessman, but he wasn't rich. Took care of his family. But here's what he would say. Business is not good. Can you guys pray for my business? And we did. We have. We prayed for the business. I don't know if the business ever turned around. But I know this. Maybe about 2 weeks ago, Dio called and said, hey, George, he's got cancer. I want you to pray for him. And I'm sure I did. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That's so hard. How do bad things happen to good people? And that's something we always got to wrestle with. So I prayed that he would have the ability to work through this. That yes, sometimes God does allow bad things to happen to good people, but it doesn't mean he fell off the throne. But we prayed that he'd have a speedy recovery. Well, yesterday I found out this. George Hinn died. In 2 weeks. Cancer killed him. He died yesterday. And that's why instantly, as soon as I heard this parable came up. You see, I can't say me and George were homeboys. I didn't know him like that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But from what I did know of him, $1,000 in running shoes didn't matter to him, because it was going to people. Couple $1,000 in pants, $10,000 in shirts. You see, there's some people who would say, listen, I got 1,000 running shoes and I'm going to sell them for $1 each. And I'm going to get $1 because I'm going to get $1,000. And when I get $1,000, I'm going to buy myself something. You see, there's some people that are so trapped in their own selfishness. They can't see the world from outside of their own selfishness. Everything they have, everything they're given, every resource at their disposal is about them and them and them. And you see, there's two types of judgments that come. When you live a life that's just totally focused on yourself, you become selfish. It begins to consume you. It begins to rob you. It begins to torment you. You have no peace. Every time something happens, you say, why does this happen to me? If you get sick, you say, why do I have to get sick? If you get screwed, you say, why did I get screwed? If you're not happy, you say, why am I not happy? And you never have the ability to look outside of your own little life and say, wait a minute, a lot of other people are sick. A lot of other people are unhappy. A lot of other people are suffering. And instead of focusing on our own problems, we ask ourselves, how can I use the resources I have to make a difference in the world and to prepare for eternity? Because judgment can come at any time. Because the Master will hold us accountable for the resources we've been given. And we will all stand before the Master. And we have so little control in our life. And the slightest thing in our body could break. And we could be here today and gone tomorrow like the lilies of the field. And I thought about George. We all have a part to play. We all have a stage. We all have a duty and